How we doing, juniors? Got all dressed up for this little theater, little play, little glass menagerie. Thought we'd talk about a few issues dealing with the setting of the play, which is during the 1930s, as we talked about the other day. But I wanted to talk about something as important as Guernica. And Guernica, which is this painting right here, that reflection came through well. You can look it up yourself. It is what Picasso did in response to the battle of Guernica in the 30s, where military leaders got the great idea that if you would just simply wait till people came out of church on a Sunday, you could bomb them all in the streets. See how that works? Well, it was truly global total warfare in the Spanish Civil War. And Picasso reflected that in his zany painting, if you look at, shows all kinds of people and animals reaching and looking up at the sky. And it's because purposeful bombing of civilians was occurring for the first time in human history. A dark day, to be sure. Well, your main character, who is my hero, Tom, because he is trapped and longs to do anything except what he is supposed to be doing. I understand that greatly. I have for quite a while. Tom spoke to me 30 years ago when I saw this play. So I relate to him, and he's extremely, he's what happens to a transcendentalist who is trapped in a meaningless job and doing things that he does not want to do, all right, which is care for his family, mainly his mother, who drives him crazy, as you will see. The sister, on the other hand, okay, Laura, God love her, suffers from horrendous anxiety, which may resonate with some of us, all right? You'll see that very early on in the play. She is terribly nervous, terribly shy, has a bit of a birth defect. She has a club foot. She walks with a limp. It makes her super conscientious, terribly nervous. And when they tried to send her to community college, she, you'll find out very early in the play, she throws up on the floor and will never go back again. This is important because as a woman in the 1930s, your options were minimal. You could get married, which was about 90% of your choice. You could join the nunnery, but you'll notice these people are Southern Episcopalians, so nunnery is out. And you could get a job that women could get. Secretary was the big one. That's what her mother was trying to do for her. So the mother, you'll find out, she will aggravate you. You will hate the mother, which is good acting, by the way, unless, of course, you're Tennessee Williams, because this is his mother, who he did not get along with very well. The very strong connection between Laura and Tom is also legit, because Tennessee Williams had a sister who also had some mental issues. And in real life, while he was gone, out of working in Hollywood, his real sister was given a front lobe lobotomy and basically turned into a vegetable. And so there are a lot of mommy issues going on in this play, but it's a remarkable play in American history because it shows just a very poignant and sad sort of reality of what happens when a man runs away from his family and wife, because Amanda's abandoned, whether she drives you crazy or not. It's an abandoned woman in a time period when there was really nothing to hold him accountable. Okay, so she's doing the best she can. She's trying to get her kids out of school, which high school they did, but in jobs, successful, married for Laura, and then hopefully, as you know, there's no nursing homes back then. For her, she wants to live with one of her kids. Laura's going to be the one of them. So she needs Laura married, comfortable. Then mom can have the mother-in-law suite, right? Well, Tom is got to hold on to everything until that all happens. Well, the entire play is trying to get her a man, okay? And in American theater, you take basically a whole lifetime's worth of issues and squeeze them into 2 hours, and everything that happens in those 2 hours sort of encapsulates the author's trials and tribulations of life. So think of it that way when you're getting through this play. If you've already watched the play, hopefully this adds a little bit of assistance to your understanding of it. It's not a very difficult play to understand at all. It is a human play. You may find that Amanda reminds you of your mom. You may feel related or somewhat tied to Laura with anxiety or social issues with being terribly shy. You may find yourself feeling a bit like Tom. I have always had the connection to Tom. And so Tom, like I said, is that transcendentalist trapped. And that's very important that we watch the play and understand Tom. Because Into the Wild is about an AP student who carefully slow plays his parents, does what he needs to do, and then runs away. And of course, his running away to find himself ultimately leads to his starvation in a bus in Alaska. And the book that I want to spend a lot of time on, I want to take our time on Into the Wild. I've sacrificed another book so that we could have plenty of time to go through Into the Wild, because besides a wonderful piece of rhetoric by the author, it's a rather a spiritual journey that might be more beneficial to you as an individual than beneficial to you as an AP language and composition student. So one thing to understand about the play, the first time I saw it, I thought Tom was lying and that he really was doing something nefarious and not going to the movies. He was going to the movies. This is the time when Hollywood was at its zenith, or as they say in England, zenith. And not that movies have dropped off any, but I mean, everything was through Hollywood. And so it was your only escape. There was no TV. If you wanted some sort of fantasy for 2 hours, you went to a play and you wore a cool hat when you went there. We got to bring these back, boys and girls. We got to bring them back. So a lot of the things I asked you to look up at the very beginning have to do with events that were going on in the world at the time. The Spanish Civil War, which we've discussed, is huge. It was the prelude for World War II and total warfare. And Tom speaks longingly of it, like, God, in Spain there's good stuff going on. Guernica's going on here, just putting shoes in a box. He's longing for adventure. His soliloquies are powerful. They are Tennessee Williams crying out. When he is not in a soliloquy and goes back into the past, it's really the family, which is a total mess. Take your time with it. I did put in the time stamps, roughly. You know, if it's 28 minutes and 35 seconds, I put the 29-minute mark. That's where these things roughly are going on. You shouldn't really have any trouble. I hope you enjoy the play. Like I said, we've performed it at school before. It was very good in the old small theater that is now Mr. Muldoon's room. But with that, if you have any questions that you would like me to answer in any kind of small video, just send me a question via Gmail and or remind. But otherwise, enjoy the play, and I will talk to you soon.